Hello and welcome to the Catalina 343BHTS. Starting right up front, we have a light, just in case you need to hook up at night. You have your up and down for your power tongue jack here. Right behind this, if you do take this off, there's a little insert for a tool, just in case this ever electrically goes out. You can still manually override it. Moving on to your propane tanks, left is open. You can tell that it's reading this side with A, this little arrow here, and B, that it turned green. Like I said, once I open this turned green because it now has a steady flow of propane going through there. Let's tighten this one up. You can also switch it to the other side there, and then it'll start to read propane off of this one. But since it still has a little bit of propane in it from this side, it's still gonna be green. Either way, it's pointing, reading, and taking as well. Got your batteries and your battery disconnect here. All you do is push in pretty hard, and then you turn, and you can turn it on or off. You don't really need the batteries on right now, just because it is plugged in as shore power. But otherwise, to disconnect the battery from the entire inside of the camper, it'll be right through here. Same thing, you just push in and turn to off, and then it'll cut off the power from the batteries. In here you have storage. Right in here you have your freshwater connection, and then also a input for TV. Right in here, so freshwater connection. This is just gonna be a big tank inside of your camper. So when you do go on vacation, let's say out in the middle of nowhere, you need running water, go ahead, fill this up beforehand. Once you get there, then go ahead, turn on your water pump, and then your water pump will then grab water from this tank and start to push it through your systems so you have running water. And just underneath here, if you have any excess water after your vacation, right here it's going to be your freshwater drain. So just open that up and that'll drain the rest of the water from inside your tank. Right in here, you have, starting up top, your black tank flush. So your black tank, which is that pole there on the left, that is all of your toilet water. So obviously some stuff is gonna get stuck, so like toilet paper and others. To get that out of the way, pop this open, insert a pressurized hose into here, and then this will then turn on a sprinkler inside the system and actually clean out and give it one last little rinse to help anything that may have gotten stuck kind of keep flowing. Right here you have an outside shower, you have a hot and cold side, and then the hose right in here with the shower head. Here's your camp power or your shore power here. This will what you plug into your camper and into the campground. Just underneath it you have your city water connection. So open this up. Right inside here, when you get to a campground, this is what you plug that hose into. You are going to need a water pressure regulator that will then make sure this doesn't either A, blow your lines from too much pressure, or if there's not enough pressure, it'll help kind of keep it right in line. Just underneath it, you have your sewer system. You have your black tank I just explained, which is your toilet water. Then your gray tank, which is going to be like showers and sinks. So what I do recommend doing is doing your black tank first, because that's the dirtiest water out of these two. Then black tank flush, and then going ahead and doing your gray tank, because this will just give it one last little rinse before you go ahead and put your hands back on the sewer hose. Just underneath here, galley tank, same situation. Pull that little handle on the right, and then the side left. Then just underneath here, you have your galley tank. Same kind of situation. Pull that handle and it'll drain. If you do purchase a backup camera, all you got to do is unscrew that little plate there. It's just 4 screws on all 4 corners. Take that off, insert the camera there, and it'll give you a little tablet as well. The tablet will then go into your cigarette lighter. Once it's in there, go ahead, turn on your running lights on, and then your running lights, when it's on, will then start to feed the connection from this camera to the tablet and your cigarette lighter. Going to your outside kitchen here. Bottle opener, you have your griddle here. on both blue tabs and open up. Just behind it, you have the LP Quick Connect, which goes just, underneath here, and then you will turn this on, insert that hose, and then your gas will then start to come out of there and give it power to light. Mini fridge out here, temperature up top right, which you have cool, cold, and coldless. It just all depends where you actually turn your nozzle. If you turn it all the way to the left and keep going, and there's an off little reader right there. Leash link for a pet. Low point drains underneath, hot and cold side. This little green cap indicates that your tires are filled with nitrogen. You are able to fill it with regular air. It doesn't inflate or deflate with temperature change. Cable satellite here. 110 outlet here. And then this is your furnace exhaust. So let's say you have the heat on. Your furnace is going to kick out extra heat here. So if you have any little kids or someone who may not know in the area, just let them know, don't touch this because they will get burned. Moving into your water heater. You have this little plug which actually goes on your low point. I'm just going to set that aside here. This is your anode rod. So this anode rod actually deteriorates over time because this takes the beating from your tank. So what I mean by that is when hard water enters your tank, it'll eat this up and not your tank, so you don't have to replace this, but you have to replace the anode rod. To insert, all you do, put it in there, take a 1 1/16 socket and tighten that down. Going along with that, then go inside, turn on the hot side of your faucet. It'll start to sputter. That's just all the air getting pushed out of your tank. Once you have a steady flow, then you can go ahead and turn the water heater on. To empty it, because water does get stagnant, all you do is pull this here, pressure, you'll hear it start to hiss out. Once you're done with the pressure release valve, once it's done hissing, take your socket, pull this back out, and then all the water will then start to drain out of there. So I recommend keeping this open because this just makes the water come out faster, but once you're done, just go ahead, bring it back down. Coming to your stairs here, make sure your door is completely open. Otherwise, this little part here will then scrape the side of your door. So you just lift up, watch that side, make sure nothing scrapes, and then get to here, and make sure the little metal pieces are behind the frame. So I don't come out, open it up, you just grab it like this, pull, you can go either direction, pull out, and then kind of slowly bring it down, just like that. And then you want to make sure that it's completely flush on both sides, because if it's not, it'll actually rip this furry part along with the rubber seal behind it on your door. Coming inside here, you have your starter kit, 30 to 50 adapter. 50 to 110. This regular house plug, so that's your 110. You have a drinking hose. And you also have your sewer hose here. I do highly recommend having a upgraded one, a quote-unquote indestructible one, or invincible one. They flex easier so they won't end up breaking or get holes in it, because this is the last thing you want holes in, and leaking obviously. But that's a high recommendation. Moving inside here, you have your little power section here. Starting off left to right, you have your fresh tank that you can read, battery, black tank, and then gray tank. You have both sides here. I'll reel them each in a little bit. Watch the other side is gonna be right in here. Your bed slide, which is slide out too. I only reeling them in so you know what it sounds like when it fully extends, because it does sound kind of scary. But just know it's normal. Once you hear that little gear grinding noise, you know you're fully extended. It's perfectly normal. Moving down to your awning, you have your extend and retract here. I'll extend this out for you. know you're fully extended when the little extra flap comes down. Then you can see the black bar behind it. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Just like that. Put it back in, retract. You do not want to keep extending because it will actually roll in the opposite way and then damage your awning. All right, moving on. You have your exterior light, which is just going to be your awning. Changes colors. Interior lights, which you can also section off. So if you want some lights off over here, keep these on. You just a little press right in the middle. Then you have your water pump. So when you fill up that fresh tank, just turn this on, and this will then take water from that fresh tank and push it through your system. And then your DSI heater, which is just basically underneath your camper that just kind of keeps it warm in colder temperatures. For the keys, you have main doors, baggage doors, and then extras like outside shower and stuff like that here. Just gonna put this right on your sink. Moving to the bedroom, starting right up top. Just open, close. Then moving down here, grab the little wood piece and lift up. You are able to access underneath. There's your TV box. Dropping just below the sink, you have your carbon monoxide detector. So this little green light indicates that it's on, and this always runs. This is always on. So the reason why I mentioned that this green light indicates that it's on is because after a certain amount of time, even if you have your battery disconnect off, this little green light will continue to run and end up killing your battery. So what I do recommend is if you're gonna leave your camper for about 3 to 4 days unattended, battery disconnect off, unplugged, whatever, just recommend taking the negative end off of your battery, because then this will finally die. So it doesn't die with anything else except taking the negative end off of your battery. Right here you have your space heater. Far right is going to be turned on. Left is going to be your time, which you can tell right here. Goes all the way up to 8 hours, is that? Yep, 8 hours. Just next to it you have the temperature. And then fan speed, low, high. And then next to it, color. And far right, once again, off. So volume, up, down, and then you have mode, which you can go through Bluetooth, aux, whatever. And then last point is here, you have your USB, HDMI, aux, and whatnot down here. And you just tap for, what is this, your equalizer. I forgot you can't even see that. You just keep tapping through it, whatever you'd like, and then hold to turn off. We'll say goodbye. For your little couch here, it's going to move the pillows. Lift this up, grab underneath, and it's just gonna be a regular jackknife. Lift up and it'll flatten out. Put it back, just lift up, keep lifting, give it a little bit of pressure forward, and it'll eventually kind of find that point and go down. Which then you can then bring all these back out however you'd like. Right behind here we have your stove and your oven. Right down here you have controls for your oven and stove. So that's time, more time, less time, and then temperature as well, lower and higher. You just press in and turn for all of these. Just like that. Off. And then for your oven, open this up, press, turn to a little pilot symbol, and it'll eventually ignite down there. I'm not sure if it's going to ignite right now because the gas isn't completely purged through the system. We just kind of hold on this little pilot symbol. It'll keep sparking, then eventually it will light, and then you can turn to your desired temperature that you'd like. I'm not going to waste all your gas, but what I do recommend is leaving these three run for a little bit, because then the gas will start to get purged through the system, and then this will be a lot easier to light. Come in your refrigerator. On the right side, it's similar as the outside. You have cold, coldest, and then off. Oh, I'll take it for you. Cold, cool, and off. And there you go. Have it off, and then freezer. Moving towards the back, you have your breakers and fuses here. Everything's gonna be labeled just like a house. And then these are just, I recommend bringing extra fuses just in case. That's just a recommendation, you don't need to, but I would just rather be safe than sorry. And here you have your bathroom. Toilet is just a foot flush right there. You just tap down, here empty. What you're going to need is toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper will help break down easier so it won't clog your systems. And then the toilet solution will actually help break down solids and smells, which will also help clean out your system. Thermostat here, move to wherever. Then you have on, high, low for auto, and fan here. And for your system, you have heat, off, fan, or cool. You can hear the AC kick on when I did that. You can move it to off. Come in your little AC vent here. To have it dump just out the sides, have these wide open. If you want it to start to travel to other places in your camper, like throughout the ducts, what I do, close those up, and that'll force it to get pushed throughout. Right here you have your slide for your room in and out. Same thing, I'll reel it in a little bit. Reel it out so you know what it sounds like. There you go. Then on off the room, same thing as outside. Out there, just press and they'll open up. For your bed here, just kind of lift up, release some of the pressure. Same goes for this side. Lift up, give a lot of pressure, and then it'll then come down right into a bed. Opposite, lift up, stick it in there. There we go. And then for these, you just move these out of the way and fold them over, and then that becomes a bed. So you would just fold them out this way, and then that would entirely become a little bed. Ladder here, lift up and out.